Hello there, this is Mike Graham of Weight Loss and Personal Development, and today I want to talk to you about experts and expertise. This is an interesting subject. This is really about mindset as much as anything. Who are the experts? Obviously, without going into details, an expert is somebody who knows about a particular subject in sufficient depth to be able to convince you he has something to teach you. Now, it's said that in order to become a master of something, you have to put in 10,000 hours in that sphere in order to become an expert. In order to become a master at it. A master of copywriting has 10,000 hours of copywriting under the belt. This is what I was taught by one of my first mentors. And quite frankly, most people don't have 10,000 hours to spare getting to be an expert in anything very much unless it's their chosen profession. And then if you do the maths, then 10,000 hours is a long time. And it seems like a fairly random number anyway, because obviously the more you do something, the better you get at it. As with most things, the first time you try it, you're not going to be very good. In fact, as the expression goes, you're going to suck. I did that when I was first doing videos, doing podcasts, any recording. But gradually, you'll become better. And so, to somebody who's just beginning at doing videos, I'm probably a master at it. To somebody who's just starting to do podcasts, they listen to my podcast, most recent ones, and they think, my God, he's really good. And yet, I know where I'm at. It's sort of neither good nor bad, just sort of like somewhere in the middle. But I suck less than I used to. And people have started off and they've been worse than me, and they've got to be into a position where they're better than me. Although it's insidious, obviously, to compare yourself with other people, and we do get told the whole time not to do that, but to just compare ourselves to who we were yesterday, the day before, or last month, or whatever. And I think that's a valuable lesson, to actually just compare yourself to who you were. And going forward, to look back at this point and see it, just as a critical point maybe, whereby you just took off and became a great deal better than you were, or you made significant improvements. But, there's no point in looking over your shoulder at the guy who's just coming up on the rails and about to take you out. To see what can pass you, because that you don't know what's going on in their life, you don't know what's going on in yours. Anyway, back to expertise. You become an expert though by just knowing more than the guy next door. And there's a very good story that gets told. I think it was Russell Brunson who first taught me this one, about a sociology student who the authorities were actually after. I can't remember why, but anyway, this was a guy who'd taken sociology in Brigham Young University. And he enrolled in a class for which there was no teacher, it transpired. Nobody turned up to teach the class. So he just took it upon himself to teach the class, because he figured that if he remained one step ahead of where the rest of the class was, he would be useful enough to be able to take that class. And it's a very remarkable discovery, actually, that he knew where the class was in terms of their sociology books, and he just stayed one chapter ahead. He just read ahead, came back, taught the class. They all lapped it up, thought he was a great teacher, and so he went on from week to week. Now, the authorities actually finally caught up with him, but they were suitably impressed by how he'd managed to masquerade as a sociology professor or teacher. And I'd say this to you: if you want to appear to be an expert, just stay one jump ahead. You don't need to be 10,000 hours ahead, although, if you are 10,000 hours ahead, good for you. But just stay one step ahead of the people who need to learn a piece of knowledge. That gives them the feeling that you know more than them. And so long as you know more than them, you can make it as an expert. Now, in case you think, well, I've got to go and do my degrees and postgraduate degrees and then I'll be an expert, Well, yeah, that's another route. I'm not going to poo-poo it. It's a perfectly good route, but for practical purposes now, you may not have time to go and get a degree before you're going to be called upon to be an expert. So, take the easy route. As with everything, just take the easy route if you can. Now, my own field of expertise is weight loss and personal development, simply because I've been there, done that a couple of times. And I've always been interested in personal development because, well, it's about myself. And whether we choose to admit it or not, we ourselves are the primary focus of our interest. How do we do today compared to yesterday? How are we feeling? How are we performing? We all want to make the best out of our lives. Sure, we're interested in other people, rightfully, for any number of reasons. Maybe we love them. Maybe we want to love them. Maybe they fascinate us. Or maybe we want to give them things that they really that they really might benefit from. Like in what I'm doing, people benefit from weight loss plans because that's the audience I'm talking to. But weight loss, people who want to lose weight but also want to gain other knowledge. They want to become the best version of themselves as possible. Well, that's okay. I can help them along that route because I'm trying to become the best version of myself. And it's, it's always going to be a work in process. It's not going to have an end point. Nobody's going to come on and say, well, congratulations, Mike. You have finally become the best version of yourself possible. Have another $50,000 as your reward. It's just not going to happen like that because there's nobody going to come and say that you've made it. You'll know when you're a reasonable expression of yourself, I guess. But, it's best just to always grow, make progress, and try and improve. And try and be an expert on yourself. After all, it's unlikely that too many other people are going to be. And that's really what I wanted to say today. Just become an expert. It's not that hard, and you don't know what you can do with that knowledge. And for anybody who wants a weight loss product, well, there's a PDF that's downloadable for free at an address that I'll put in on this post. If you like this video, give me a like. If you want to subscribe to my channel, please subscribe. Thank you for listening, and hopefully catch you on another video. Bye for now.